Somebody sent me a comment the other day saying I need to watch Tenshin's most recent fight, which is his boxing debut. So that is what we're doing. We're looking at this fight versus Yuki Yonaha. We're going to say that completely wrong. But Nasukawa, he is one of the guys who fought Mayweather in those exhibitions which have been happening. He's also, as far as I can think of, the only undefeated kickboxer who has fought pretty much everybody at his weight class. I can't think of anybody else. And he defeated the one person in K1 who people were saying was going to give him trouble. He did that about a year ago, 6 months ago, I want to say. So now we're at his boxing debut. And right from the get-go, in case you don't already know, Tenshin is in the green shorts. We can just see how crisp his shots are. He's already starting to taunt and toy, putting his left hand out, drawing attention off to the side before throwing. I don't know anything about his opponent, but we'll watch this guy and gauge his skill level. But Tenshin has always had spectacular hands, especially spectacular for a kickboxer who has to also work on knees and the kicks, obviously. So stylistically, his opponent looks like he likes to keep his hands fairly posted up. Yeah, that's his go-to defense there. He's not using a whole lot of footwork to get away, and he doesn't seem too interested in moving his head. Obviously, you would have noted by now that Tenshin is a southpaw, his opponent orthodox, so look for that cross from Tenshin being a danger point. And just, I love watching him just for the fact that he mixes up his heights so well. Even in kickboxing, he was so good at variety. Now he only has 2 weapons instead of 6, but we'll still see probably a good deal of variety from him. Tenshin just utilizing those angles nicely. A couple swings and misses there. Nice counter shot. Seeing a little bit of head movement out of his opponent, but his opponent seems to be just a little late to the draw. Tenshin tags him, and then he starts utilizing some head movement, trying to make it harder for him to land. But then he goes stationary again, and Tenshin can land his shot. Tenshin, if you did not know, is a Japanese fighter. Good round 1 there for Tenshin. It's the first time I've seen him look not really flashy in terms of what his hair is doing. Just has a little buzz cut. Obviously it's dyed still, but usually he has some pretty wild hair. Much more so than right now. I love that one there. A little parry, and the hand that he parried with came into the counter jab, which then led into the rest of the combination, which landed nicely. Tenshin staying on his feet in between rounds, choosing not to sit. He's always had a bit of a massive gas tank. Now removing the kicks and the clench and all that, look at him, he's just walking around. He'll probably do much, much better in the cardio department now that they don't have those extra limbs down low, which are just more exhausting. Round number 2. Let's see if his opponent can get any read on him. As far as I can tell so far, they didn't give him a bum. Yeah, he's tagging his opponent, but look at that. That's solid defense. His opponent hasn't landed anything of consequence yet, but he's there. And this isn't somebody that Tenshin is just rolling through. Good counter shot. I gotta say, I like how in boxing, the guys get a little bit more variety in what they can wear. It just adds to that personal flair, personal preference in the way you want to represent yourself. I feel like in UFC, it's just not been that way lately. Not sure. It felt like a really short round. Huh. But yeah, either way, Tenshin with his green and his little dinosaur with boxing gloves on. It just gives you a little idea about what he is, who he is. I like it more than when you see UFC right now. Everybody's wearing the same thing. All right, moving into round number 3. Tenshin's still looking fairly lean. He's not a big dude. He never has been. Normally fighting around 130 pounds-ish, in there somewhere. This is only a 6-round fight. His boxing debut. Once you start getting up to 10-round fights, that can be for some titles. World titles are for 12 rounds. We'll probably see him climb the ranks fairly quick. I can't imagine he'll take a decade to get to 12-round fights. It's good, solid defense still by his opponent. Just letting his hands drop a little bit, trying to get a little bit of a fake happening. It's throwing off Tenshin a little bit. That last shot missed by a lot. But something that Tenshin is doing really well is catching that jab and throwing his own jab back right away. And he's not going for massive power, but he's touching and using it to set up the combos. So his opponent has to be very careful about letting that jab go and not having a follow-up technique, because that jab of Tenshin is interrupting his combo. Fast little jab flicking out. I like seeing fighters do cross-discipline stuff, like Tenshin after he's accomplished all he has, doing the crossover to boxing, but you also feel like, oh, you know, I kind of wish this guy would have stuck with the sport that I love, and removing those legs just takes a bit away from that spectacular excitement that he can put on with his legs. We did see his opponent there land a nice little shot, but Tenshin getting back into the round by landing his own. Backpedaling quite a bit. Beautiful stop there. Is running back, stops it, and then throws that solid cross down the middle. Ooh, there's a big cross. I did mention at the beginning that's what we'll look for Tenshin to be landing a lot of because of that southpaw versus orthodox. And he does a very nice job of circling out to his right, Tenshin. Circling to the weak side, he'll throw a shot. He'll a lot of times wrap up that lead arm of his opponent and then catch that angle. Move away from the one arm that is still a threat. Tenshin actually did a very good job for a lightweight fighter, getting a decent amount of knockouts in his career. For somebody at 130 pounds, he scored quite a bit. Putting his opponents on the canvas. It'll be interesting to see in this fight if he can do that. Again, once you remove all the kicks, it becomes that much more difficult to find those knockdowns, especially when that's been such a massive part of your arsenal for almost your whole life. Very nice slow motion there. Get to see Tenshin just how accurate he is. Catching those angles, still finding the exact target he needs to. Great eyesight, depth perception is just on point. Here we go, round number 4. See if his opponent can figure out a way to lock down Tenshin. There we go, Tenshin using a little bit of a throw, a little Muay Thai throw, puts his foot to the outside of his opponent's, drags him over. He made that look so easy. I often find when I do sparring with boxers, when we get to the inside and we're wrestling for a position, it's so easy to get to the superior position because they just don't have that real knowledge of that battle. Very hard for his opponent to lock down Tenshin into the corner, but he really has to try and do something to cut off those angles. Right now, just keep a little bit more of a distance, start to work Tenshin back to the ring rope so he has nowhere to back up to because he's so good at just backing up, catching angles, backing up, stopping. Maybe some fakes from a distance, just like he's doing there, that's good. Now he's got to keep him in that corner. Yeah, Tenshin just gets right back to the center of the ring. Minimal effort. I don't know if I'm just having fun watching this fight or these are not 3-minute rounds, but they seem to be going by so fast. We're skipping right into round number 5. If there were 2 things that I gotta say that I'm really excited about watching Tenshin in the boxing ring, it's number 1, how good his defense is right now. He's doing a very nice job, very evasive, good footwork. Just very fun to watch him not get hit. And the second thing that I'm really enjoying is just how sharp his punches are. They are just so crisp. And when he lets them go, I just have a little internal dialogue like, wow. And that keeps happening. Nice cross there. Again, cutting the angle. It's just so calm from that position. Now this inside battle, which we talked about, so easy for him to control from there. So at this point, when you're in a boxing debut and you just want to get the win, start collecting that record so you can get up to those big money fights. You could go for a big KO. It looks like he's very content to just pick him apart now. He knows he's already won the fight as long as he does not get knocked down. He's easily ahead on the scorecard. It'll be interesting to see if he can finish this fight or if he's just fine cruising through. Because it sure doesn't look like he's putting the effort in to get the KO like we saw him do in his kickboxing fights. It's brilliant eyes. Just the way right now he's just taken no damage. And I know a lot of people laughed at him and gave him grief for his loss to Floyd Mayweather. But he is so much smaller than that guy. It's just not even fair. It'd be like putting me up against a dude who's 120 pounds. I don't care how good he is. It's just not gonna happen. He's not gonna beat me. The same way that if you put me up against somebody who's, a 9 out of 10 on the skill level, with me being a 10 out of 10, but they have 20 pounds on me, yeah, they'll probably beat me. A lot of people don't understand the size, so I always just gave Tenshin props for getting in against Floyd. We can see here he's a spectacular boxer. But obviously Floyd, one of the absolute best ever, and with that extra size, and the fact that it was Tenshin's, first time really doing any boxing, and yeah, no wonder he got KO'd. It's beautiful movement. Oh, what a cross. His opponent taking it all like a champ. And no minute break in between for us to see. We're jumping right into the final round. Tenshin was just having fun in that last minute and a half of round 5. Let's see if he decides to pick it up here and go for a KO. Oof. And he's just really put all his focus in the last couple of rounds just on the head. He hasn't had to go down to the body like he was early on because he's just landing. And yeah, they're not shots that are necessarily going to put this guy away, but he's scoring and winning the fight, no question, and making it look easy while doing it. I'm not too knowledgeable about the boxers at this weight class who are the world champions at the moment, but if Tenshin does a good job in his first 5 or 6 fights, we may see him climb the ranks fast, and I would be very interested to see him against high-level boxers at his weight class, like the guys who are in the top 10. And a lot of times people ask me when I do my boxing rounds, are you ever worried that you're going to kick somebody? I go, no, it's never happened. I've never even been close to twitching a foot up. It's easy to make that distinction between the boxing and any other rounds, MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing. You just can disengage your brain from the lower half of the body. It's very easy to do. So calm in there. Knows exactly where the shots are going to come. Does minimal work to block, and then just has those counter shots on point so quickly. Let's see if his opponent in the last 50 seconds runs in, tries to do anything to really finish this fight. And no, for some reason we didn't get to see the end of that. That was the full video, which I could find, but still a fun fight to watch, and I'm definitely going to be watching Tenshin in any future boxing fights.